We've been working as a staff behind the scenes for months now with our volunteer leaders and our volunteer teams on some huge plans that I'm officially kind of sharing with our church for the first time today. These plans have major implications on how we move forward to accomplish our vision as a church. Our vision is to guide people to experience life to its fullest, connect into meaningful relationships, and make a lasting impact. And there's lots of ways we live out that vision as a church. One of the biggest ways, though, is what happens right here on Sundays here in the auditorium and with our kids ministry. So far in 2018, we have experienced record attendance as a church. From January through May, we saw our highest average attendance ever in the history of our church, averaging 1,573 people each weekend. If you take out Easter Sunday, we actually had 9 Sundays over 1,600 people, 4 Sundays over 1,700 people, and that's only happened on one other Sunday in the history of our church to be more than 1,600 people, happened 9 times so far this year. Attendance always drops in the summer. It has gone down this year as well, but it's been a record attended summer as well. So far, since the first Sunday of June, we have been averaging 1,272 people a week here at Element. That is 240 more people every Sunday than the same Sundays last year. 240 more than the same time last year. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So we are seeing attendance numbers this summer that we have never seen before in our church. All that to say, we are trending towards what could be the biggest fall we've ever had in our church. Our 6 p.m. service tends to be, and consistently is, by far the smallest service and definitely has the most room to grow. And so I'd still even challenge people to consider going to that 6 p.m. service. But in our 2 Sunday morning services, especially in those high attendance Sundays, 1,600, 1,700 people, we are out of space. Now, you might walk into the auditorium on those big Sundays and see a lot of empty seats, but what you'll notice is they are in groups of 1 and 2, not 5 or 6. So if a family like mine walks in and we need 6 chairs to sit together, you can't find it. They don't exist in the room on those big Sundays. We need more room. So, after much prayer, a lot of prayer, and a lot of planning over the last several months, we are ready to share with you today that on Sunday, October 14th, we got some time yet, but on Sunday, October 14th, we'll be adding a 4th worship experience to our schedule. The times are on the screens, 8:30, 10, and 11:30 a.m., so we're making more space in that prime time Sunday morning slot, and then keeping our 6 p.m. service as well. Now, your reaction to my next statement might play well into today's message. For the most part, every Sunday, I will only be preaching live on the platform 3 out of the 4 services. I want to be the pastor of this church, and I want to keep preaching with passion the way I do, that I believe God's designed me to do it, for as long as God will let me do that. But for me to do that and remain physically, emotionally, and spiritually healthy, I've just learned with my voice, 3 services a Sunday is about my limit. So every week, we will record the 8:30 a.m. service live. I'll be here live. And then one of the remaining 3 services will be video. More often than not, I'll probably preach live at the 6 p.m. service, because that's where we have the most room to grow, and I'd like to shift some people to that service, and would love to see you do that if you want to do that. So, if you feel like the only way that God can speak to you is through the pastor live on the platform, there will be a service for you every week at 8:30 a.m. right here in the auditorium. So it's only your fault if you don't get to see the pastor live at 8:30 a.m. For those of you who want to complain about having to watch a pastor preach on a screen, I expect to also see that you have stopped going to the movies, watching TV, streaming Netflix and YouTube, renting Redbox, or cheering for your favorite sports team on a screen. Because we can sure be entertained on a screen. I'm quite certain God can figure out how to communicate the gospel on one as well. Okay? This is a good thing, by the way. I am excited about this. It's going to be a lot of work, but I am excited. We should celebrate the fact that not only do we need to create more space, but through the power of modern technology, we can communicate the gospel to more people by using high-definition video and having the people on our team that know how to figure that out. And I get it. I know. Not everyone is going to like a video sermon. I completely understand that. And so I say this not in jest, in seriousness. If you can only attend a church where the pastor is always live in every service, there are literally dozens of amazing churches right here in Cheyenne that you can attend. And if you need help finding a good church, we will help you do that. I mean that. If it's that big of a deal for you. But here's the turn. I'm going to bring this back around to our message, okay? We need to remember that God's church isn't Burger King. We don't always get it our way. And that's kind of the point, right? Like, church isn't about us, me or you. Church is, first of all, about lifting up the name of Jesus, and second of all, about accomplishing his mission, which is to reach more people for him and raise them up to be like him. And as a church, we are committed to do whatever it takes to accomplish that mission with Jesus, including adding a fourth service and using a video to communicate the gospel. I'll be talking more about this as we lead up to that Sunday, but we've got some time, so you can decide whether you want to get up at 8:30 or not. October 14th is the Sunday for worship experiences.